this opportunity was totally not on the radar, and when it popped up, we were just very thrilled and honored that they would make this tribute to our parents. And Meryl, Jay, and I think my brother Bull's coming tomorrow night, and are just grateful for the recognition, because my mom and dad never were about getting the credit. They always said, you can get a lot accomplished in the world if you don't care who gets the credit, and that was kind of their saying. And now that they're gone, I feel it's wonderful to have these things happen. I mean, recently CNN, which I still sit on the board, did a whole big thing, big tribute to my parents as well, and I just think that they'd be really pleased that people could still remember them long after they're gone, and the impact they've had on millions of people, My mom and dad met during the war, but prior to that, my father, he was an Army sergeant, and he sang in a barbershop quartet, not professionally, but, when he was in the military, he would, send little, records back to to his mom, my grandma. And so he always had a love for harmony. And when, they had so many boys, and my mom also had musical talent. She would play saxophone in the dance band and play piano. And so in our church, it always stressed family home evenings. And that was a program that my parents totally believed in. And today, we all still do that. And what they would do is teach each one of us a different harmony part, and we would always put on a little show for each other.
And how old were you at this time?
Well, this happened prior to my birth, so I was for that. But my two older brothers, Burl and Tom, Burl I think is actually going to be there tomorrow as well, but they were born deaf, and my parents were told never to have any more kids, and boy, am I glad they didn't listen. But the real reason why the brothers started singing professionally was to raise money to buy them hearing aids and put them on a mission, which is kind of cool. And one thing came after another, and my brothers had a chance to audition for Lawrence Welk, and so my dad took them down there, and he wouldn't see them. And rather than making it a bust, the positive parents that we had, they took us to Disneyland, and they were still dressed alike from the audition. And that's where they were discovered on the streets of Disneyland by another quartet called the Dapper Dans.
Okay.
They took them to Tommy Walker, Walt Disney's put them on the air, and the next thing we know, Andy Williams saw them. And that's where I was born, practically born on his show. My first show was at the age of 3.
Wow.
And we never stopped. Over 54 years for my brothers, 46 years for me, having done I guess at least 100 shows a year for as long as I can remember.
Wow. Is that... go ahead, sorry.
No, I said it's crazy, but it's a blessing to do what you love, for so many years.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the fascinating thing about this honor to my parents is they were very entrepreneurial. They really wanted to learn everything about what we did and all aspects of business. And it turned out that their zest for that, they always believed, you surround yourself with the best will be your outcome. And as things changed and morphed in our family, everybody, it was always one, all of our career belonged to all of us, no matter who was out in front. So even though, for instance, maybe, Donnie, Marie, and I were pushed out a lot in the front, it was still the brothers that produced everything and wrote everything and, designed everything. And those ended up turning into a lot of interesting businesses that, to this day, bless our lives individually. It's not just a one-dimensional kind of a group,
Yeah. So, my understanding is it kind of grew from that point you were talking about, the discovery, to be kind of a large and pretty diverse group of businesses. Maybe you could tell me a little bit more about the different ventures the family's in now.
Well, I think obviously our parents deserve the credit for pushing us all in the areas that each individually we have, But, we're involved in a lot of different things. But back in the day, we owned television studios and commercial production companies and live entertainment theaters, almond orchards. We were in all kinds of business. I remember myself, anyway, becoming so interested in things. I had an advertising agency, and I owned it myself. When I was 14, I couldn't even drive to work. And it was funny, and I used to do campaigns for Coca-Cola and Yamaha, and it was just because at the time we had so much momentum on television and producing 1,100 hours worth of programming is what I've done in my life for networks. And we just had so much momentum as a family that the doors would swing open, and everybody would say, "Hey, would you do this with us?" And that's really, it's really hard for people that when you love learning new things and trying new things, it's hard to turn those things down. Not all of it's successful, but it's really cool that our parents really pushed us in diverse areas. I mean, today I still own and operate the Osmond Real Estate, which my dad started. That was what got us through the very beginning, and that continues. We still develop outlet malls, and we're involved in a lot of things like that. I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but you're right. We're trying to get some facts, but but mostly of the activities we have has to do with what I call the business of show. And I still, represent theme parks and buying talent and brokering shows for fairs, producing my family show. I just finished a 51-day concert tour, sold 100,000 tickets in the UK. I'm just telling you stuff I'm involved in, because each family member has a similar phone book and interest, so all of these areas are touched by all of us. And, Marie ended up designing dolls, which was a huge success for QVC, and that came out of my mother. When we were having hit records on the top of the charts, she went to Mattel and said, "I want to make a Donnie, Marie, and Jimmy doll." And so out of that came Marie's zeal for, "Hey, let's keep designing these dolls." And so you can see that my parents were amazing, because normally if you're running a business and you have an act, you stick with that act. But my mom and dad were more concerned about each one of us individually, and that we all had our chance at the bat. So it made no sense while we were having pop records, to all of a sudden push Marie out there in front, who really wasn't a member of the group, to go into the country vein. But again, my mother wanted to make sure Marie's talents were exposed, and she did the same thing for me. I mean, it made no sense for the family to get behind me, being this young kid that could sing and have the hits that I had on my own.
Right.
And none of that would have happened in a normal business setting, but it came out of just a loving mother and father that loved each one of their kids the same and wanted each one of us to have an opportunity. And what we were, experiencing as a family, I mean, for Burl and Tom, can you imagine how hard that was, not being able to perform?
Right, I bet.
And so they started a foundation, and that turned into what's known today as the Children's Miracle Network. And so you can see that, I mean, my parents were really extraordinary people, and they really sacrificed their lives to allow us kids to pursue the dreams we had.
You mentioned that, that they were really focused on each one of you, that you loved you equally, but they also must have been pretty good at business to couple that attention to their children with as much success as they had. Why do you think they were so good?
He had real estate, and he also ran a post office. He was a postmaster. And so he was a workaholic and very disciplined. And sometimes people would say maybe he was too tough. But, coming out of that era, everybody demanded a lot out of their families.
Yeah.
In fact, all of those things that, in some ways I wish we kind of could go back to today, you know what I mean? But my father was always the head of the house, but mother was the neck that turned the head. And he kept him on track, kept him organized. And they had this love affair that was just so fun. And so I think it really blessed our lives as kids to watch because, whatever my mother dreamed up, my father would put into action. And there's an amazing duo. They were total opposites, but they were so driven. And then, of course, having a family of 9 kids, having come out of the wartime, they knew they had to be.
And where in the 9 are you? Are you the youngest?
Yeah, they gave up with me.
Yeah.
So I kind of had a weird perspective, and I don't know why it's been the case, because I've always been the guy that kind of sorts things for my family, whether it's helping finance running a show in Vegas or producing a PBS special or whatever. I've kind of been in a weird situation, and, I remember being with my parents all along before I was the one that actually did grants in Missouri, and all those theaters were just kind of my sole proprietorship, and I've always had instilled in me, almost by them, how important it is to keep our family together. And I sometimes maybe go over the mark, where I could maybe have taken paths that, with maybe in my personal best interest, but I feel that, like when I put the family back together for this 50th anniversary, none of us were really performing together that much. We were all doing our own things,
Sure.
And it was amazing. I mean, Donnie couldn't have sold out those arenas. Marie couldn't have sold out those arenas. And the brothers couldn't have sold out those arenas. But when you put us all together as all these acts, and it's just something magical that happens. And I've always believed that if you keep your family together the way that ours has been, that no matter who's out front, we all benefit, and our lives are blessed by it. Just because the doors of opportunity continue to swing open. And if you're smart enough, you'll take advantage of those.